of deadly alcohol. As King Wasiu Ayinde clocks 50 on music stage, OSBC Entertainment News focuses on the philosophical and educative aspects of the music of the icon. Contributors to the National Housing Fund demands easier conditions for securing loans. Political talks says to be loyal to the People's Democratic Party (PDP) in Osun State have reportedly attacked the convoy of the wife of the governor, Mrs. Kafayat Oyetola, in Owodede area of the state. Ede is the hometown of the governor-elect, Senator Ademola Adeleke. The attack is coming barely 2 weeks after a list of top government officials allegedly marked for attack by the opposition PDP surfaced on the social media. Trouble was said to have started when security operatives attached to the First Lady tried to clear the traffic around Owodede to allow for easy passage. Unknown to them, some alleged PDP thugs had positioned themselves and began hauling stones and other dangerous items at the convoy, thereby smashing vehicles and injuring some security operatives in the convoy. When contacted, an aide of the First Lady, Iluyomade Oluwatumishi, confirmed the attack on the convoy. She, however, said no life was lost in the incident, just as she revealed that some security personnel attached to the convoy sustained various degrees of injuries. According to her, those injured have been taken to the hospital and are receiving medical attention. Meanwhile, Osun State chapter of the All Progressives Congress (APC) has condemned yesterday's attack on the convoy of the First Lady of the state, Mrs. Kafayat Oyetola, by suspected People's Democratic Party (PDP) thugs. The chairman of APC in the state, Prince Boyega Famodu, in a statement by his media advisor, Kola Olabisi, described the attack as primitive, barbaric, shameful, dangerous, and wicked. Prince Famodu wondered why some suspected political thugs should make themselves cheap instruments of violence and subsequently hitting up the state's polity. The Osun State APC chairman expressed shock at the hitherto peaceful Ederland could be turned into the abode of violence. In the meantime, the People's Democratic Party has exonerated itself from the incident that took place yesterday in Owodede. In a statement by the media director of the party in Osun, Mr. Oladele Bamiji, PDP said it harbors no political thugs, not to talk of deploying them for any purpose. According to the release, members of PDP will never harass or molest innocent citizens and describe the linkage of the party with the incident as shocking. Osun State Police Command says it has apprehended 5 people in connection with the attack on the convoy of wife of Osun State Governor Mrs. Kafayat Oyetola at Owodede. The command spokesperson, Yemisi Okpalola, in a statement made available to newsmen in Osogbo, indicates that the operatives were contacted at about 8:30 yesterday night that the convoy of Mrs. Kafayat Oyetola came under attack by some disgruntled elements. According to the statement, one Mr. Omolola Okpeyemi, an indigene of Ijebu-Ode, a driver of one truck without registration number, blocked the movement of the First Lady as a result of the traffic gridlock. To this end, some hoodlums took advantage of the scenario and started throwing stones and other dangerous materials at vehicles in the convoy of Mrs. Oyetola that got some DSS personnel wounded. Information officer to the office of the First Lady also confirmed the incident, saying no life was lost in the uproar. Some security personnel attached to the convoy sustained various degrees of injuries and now receiving treatment at an hospital. Osun State Election Petition Tribunal sitting at the High Court Osogbo has fixed Monday the 22nd of this month as the date for the hearing of Governor Adegboyega Oyetola's petition on the just concluded gubernatorial election in the state. This followed the petition filed by Governor Oyetola challenging the results of the Osun State governorship election in July 16th governorship election in some local government area of the state. The tribunal secretary, Mr. David Umar, confirmed the date to newsmen in Osogbo, the state capital. Edo State Governor Mr. Godwin Obaseki has given the Edo State Police Command and other relevant security outfits 7 days ultimatum to unravel the true position of the alleged discovery of ritualist den along Ekenwan Road axis of Benin City, the state capital. This came to the fore during a press conference organized by the Edo State government and the State Police Command to provide an update on the latest development on the alleged ritual activities in the state. Addressing journalists, Deputy Commissioner of Police, Ms. Olawore Uluwole, implored residents of the state to remain calm, ensuring that the matter is being thoroughly investigated. The Deputy Commissioner of Police stressed that the police are making frantic effort to unravel the details of the incident. Special Advisor to Edo State Governor on Media Project, Mr. Krusi Osage, said the Edo State Governor, Mr. Godwin Obaseki, has given the relevant authorities 7 days ultimatum to unravel the true position about the recent discovery. Authorities of the Nigerian Army have denied allegations that a total number of 243 soldiers recently retired from the force did so on account of low morale and poor conditions of service, stressing that the soldiers voluntarily applied, which is routine in service. Director of Army Public Relations, Brigadier General Onyema Nwachukwu, disclosed this in Abuja in an interview with newsmen. According to Brigadier General Nwachukwu, voluntary retirement or discharge is a routine in the Nigerian Army. The Director General, National Agency for Food and Drug Administration and Control, NAFDAC, Professor Mojisola Adeyeye, says the agency has impounded truckloads of unregistered and deadly products, including intoxicants, alcoholic bitters, and sex enhancers, noting that the wholesome products were laced with psychoactive substances like tobacco, marijuana, and cannabis. Mr. Professor Adeyeye stated that arrests have been made on the owners of the products and that factories have shut down in Lagos and Zaria. According to her, the products have the capacity to destroy functionality of the brain, kidney, and liver, as well as cause untimely death. She stated that 3 suspects, although granted bails, have been arrested in connection with the production and sales of the deadly drinks with their factories shut down. Professor Adeyeye advised consumers of NAFDAC regulated products to be watchful of drug, food, and other regulated products they have purchased, stressing that they should not hesitate to report any suspicious activities within their jurisdiction to the nearest NAFDAC office. This is the news across the country coming to you from Osun State Broadcasting Corporation, Iliawiye Okebale Osogbo, Voice of the West. Now, amid this message. The Nigerian project can only be nurtured to success in an atmosphere free of rancor and acrimony, endeavor to promote peace in all ramifications. One of the famous Fuji musicians in Nigeria is King Wasiu Ayinde Marshal, popularly called Kwan. Exactly 50 years ago, Wasiu Ayinde mounted the stage, singing like his predecessors, the likes of late Sikiru Ayinde Barrister and Chief Kollington Ayinla Baba Latika. 50 years on stage, what did King Wasiu Ayinde's ultimate Fuji music portrayed? Sad Adeboje in this entertainment news has the details.
King Wasiu Ayinde's name is an household name in Nigeria, most especially among Fuji music lovers. Since the release of his Tala 84 album, Wasiu had begun to become a mystery in the Fuji music world, and he has become acceptable as well. Those who are lovers of Fuji music would trace the history of King Wasiu Ayinde to his late boss, Dr. Sikiru Ayinde Barrister, Mr. Fuji himself, who mentored him until he attained maturity and climbed the stage to sing before an array of music lovers. That was 50 years ago. But King Wasiu Ayinde named his band K1 and his ultimate band, singing to the admiration of his fans all over the world. His style of music is not only the entertainment type, but at a point sounding like seeking the emancipation of African countries from their colonial masters. This was evident in one of his albums titled Joe Fumi.
We cry to free Mandela, the free Mandela. We cry for free Namibia, the free Namibia. We cry to free Mandela, the free Mandela. We cry for free Namibia, the free Namibia. We now want freedom for South Africa. It is a vision that no people feel.
Within his 50 years on stage, King Wasiu Ayinde Marshal has waxed evergreen albums advising male and female in marriage. Throughout his 50 years on stage, Wasiu Ayinde, though a Muslim, was never a religious bygone as he sang for all faiths.
Oh Lord of mercy, oh Lord of mercy, oh Lord of mercy, grant this, oh Lord, for peace and joy.
Though Wasiu Ayinde Kwamkwan, as is fondly called, made fortunes in Fuji music, his 50 years on stage was not left out of crisis, as at a point he crossed the path of his mentor, late Dr. Sikiru Ayinde Barrister, in one of his albums where he narrated the history of Fuji music. But out of love, late Sikiru Ayinde Barrister crowned him as the Olori Ebi in the Fuji world during his 60th birthday. "50 years on, there is no doubting the fact that K1 remains a star in the Fuji music world. For OSBC Entertainment News, this is Saeed Adeboje reporting.
The guest lecturer at 23rd end of the section and 20th graduation ceremony of Islamic College Oshobo, Dr. Abdul Rashid Adebi, has admonished students to take their admission seriously and be steadfast on the path of Allah so as to yield a positive result in the pursuit of their ambition in life. Dr. Adebi also urged parents to continue taking full responsibilities on their wards and be good guardians to them. Abib Lai Abdul Wasiu has the details.
Was a memorable gathering of students and guardians at the 23rd end of the session and the 20th graduation ceremony of Islamic College Oshobo, located along Obadesoji Aderemi bypass. In his welcome address, the principal of the school, Malam Abdul Jalil Abdul Wahab, represented by the vice principal, administration, Imam Abdul Fattah Muhammad Sani, gave praise to Almighty Allah for his protection and guidance on all and sundry since the establishment of the school. He added that the running of the school started in the mosque about over 2 decades ago, and the favor of Allah has saw the school moved to its permanent site. Malam Abdul Jalil, however, recounted the role late Dr. Muhammad Ali Olukade played in setting a purposeful and exemplary leadership which resulted to the birth of the college and its type all across the country. In their separate remarks, Chairman of the College Management Board, Engineer Mikhail Jimon, and the Vice Principal Administration, Imam Abdul Fattah Muhammad Sahad, enjoined parents of the graduating student to help the student sustain the discipline and morals imbibed in them by their teachers in the past 6 years so as to be good ambassadors of school and Islam everywhere they found themselves. Engineer Mikhail thanked the parents for their usual cooperation and requested for more cooperation and understanding to further instill proper all-round education for lifetime benefit. He added that the college is determined to make education available for the Muslim populace at lowest cost, not minding the current economic situation in the country. The chairman further admonished the outgoing student not to allow glittering objects or peers sway them away from the training they received in the last 6 years. He enjoined them to always venture into productive skills that will make them outstanding. The Vice Principal Administration explained how the college has positively influenced the lives of its students, most especially the graduating ones. Dr. Abdul Rashid Adebi, a lecturer from Pante University of Shogbo, who was also the guest speaker on the occasion, advised the graduating students to pursue their ambitions, not minding several unnecessary distractions that would come their way, adding that the students should totally abstain from illegalities, which may include internet fraud, illicit relationship, playing of video games, and betting, among others. Dr. Abdul Rashid, however, advised that they should have strong determination towards their ambition, strong quest for self-development, fervent in their prayers, and be steadfast on the path of Almighty Allah. The event climaxed with the presentation of prizes and testimonials to graduates and the launching of the Shade magazine.
Contributors to the National Housing Fund (NHF) scheme in northwestern parts of the country have demanded that the federal government should ease the conditions for securing housing loans. The federal government introduced the NHF scheme to enable contributors, mostly civil servants, to secure flexible loans to build their own houses. Speaking to journalists in Kaduna, Kano, Sokoto, Kebbi, Zamfara, and Katsina states, stakeholders advocated a complete review of the scheme to serve the purpose for which it was initiated for, or in the alternative, scrap it completely. They argued that not only was the process of securing loans too cumbersome, but the requirements were also hardly met by a majority of civil servants, thereby defeating the laudable objectives of the scheme. Another stakeholder in Guzo, Mr. Abubakar Usman, lamented that securing access to NHF facilities was always a Herculean task, and therefore called on the federal government to restructure the scheme to make things easy. Also, a widow in Guzo, Miriam Adeniyi, also made similar call, recollecting how her late husband, who was a contributor, could not access the housing loan despite several efforts. The National Bureau of Statistics says on a yearly basis, the average retail price per litre on household kerosene increased by 98.76% in July this year. This is sequel to the National Bureau of Statistics National Household Kerosene Price Watch for the month of July, released in Abuja. According to the report, the average retail price per litre of the product rose by 98.76% from 397.34 in July to 789.75 in July this year. The report said on a monthly basis there was a 3.68% increase of the product in July 2022 at 789.75 compared to 761.69 recorded in June 2022. The report indicated that analysis by NBC shows that the Southwest recorded the highest average retail price per litre of household kerosene was 900.90 naira, followed by the Southeast with 889.40 naira and North Central with 769.92 naira, while the South recorded the lowest with 727.07 naira. Osun State Governor Mr. Adegboyega Otola has declared Monday public holiday in commemoration of this year's Isheshe Day. This is contained in the release by the Commissioner for Special Duties, Mr. Olalekan Badmus, who is also the Supervising Commissioner for the Ministry of Home Affairs. The approval is in recognition of the month of August, usually set aside annually by the traditional religion worshippers to celebrate Isheshe festival in the state. The governor congratulated the traditional religion worshippers throughout the state, just as he also appealed to them to be peaceful and law-abiding in their conduct before, during, and after the festival. The 2022 Pen Week of the Nigerian Union of Journalists NUJ Osun OSBC Chapel will kicks off tomorrow morning with a church service at African Church Osun Central Missionary Diocese, Egbatedo Isale Ijebu Osogbo. A statement by the chairman and secretary organizing committee, comrades Latif Agbola and Abiodun Babadiya, indicates that the Sunday service, which is built for tomorrow morning, will have members of the professional union, their families and associates in attendance. It enjoined members of OSBC Chapel of the Nigerian Union of Journalists to be present at the church auditorium tomorrow morning as a matter of duty. Members of the family of an Elisha-based fashion designer, Mr. Gbenga Adeleye, have called on public-spirited individuals to come to aid of the critical Hill family man. The wife of the bedridden man, Mrs. Bosedi Adeleye, gave the indication while explaining the condition of her husband to OSBC News. Mrs. Adeleye said the problem started with her husband about 3 months ago when Mr. Gbenga Adeleye complained of severe rheumatism, stressing that subsequently he was placed on drugs with no effect on him at the end of the day. According to her, when the ailments of her husband resist treatment under their roof, they took him to Wesley Guild Hospital, Elisha, where he was admitted. On thorough medical investigation, Mrs. Adeleye quoted medical practitioner as saying that her husband is suffering from fracture at the femoral neck of the right femur, a critical medical condition that was hindered his movement and permanently put him on hospital bed right now. The wife, who was full of emotions, made passionate appeal to members of the public to rescue her husband from untimely death and permanent deformity. She maintained that it was on the critical medical condition of Mr. Gbenga Adeleye, the only son of his parents, that sent his mother to her early grave in Elisha. She disclosed that her husband needs 4.2 million naira for urgent medical attention to correct the fracture at the femoral neck of the right femur of his body chemistry. Anybody that intends to assist Mr. Gbenga Samson Adeleye should pay into his Polaris Bank account number 0106096152 or GSM number 070-337-80541 for possible assistance. Mr. Gbenga Adeleye from Ejamos Compound, Elisha East, has been in serious pain and has been bedridden at the Wesley Guild Hospital, Elisha. Now to sport. President Muhammadu Buhari is to host the victorious Team Nigerian athletes to the just concluded Birmingham Games to a grand reception of the 15th of next month. Adeyemi Abodeni has more on sports update.
Nigeria's UFC champion Kamaru Usman is confident he will outclass Leon Edwards in their UFC welterweight clash tonight. Kamaru Usman and Leon Edwards meet again 7 years after their first bout as they challenge for the UFC welterweight title in USA. In their first fight, Usman edged Edwards by unanimous decision in December 2015 and continued a solid career for him, while the Briton has suffered more to get to the big fight. Usman is currently the best pound-for-pound fighter in the UFC. The Nigerian is one of the most powerful champions in recent years, and tonight he will expose his welterweight title against Leo Edwards, who is the main threat to end Usman's dominance. Similarly, former British and Commonwealth light heavyweight boxing champion Peter Obo has advised Anthony Joshua to ensure he beat his opponent Alexander Usyk in their rematch taking place tonight in Saudi Arabia. Anthony Joshua will attempt to reclaim his WBO, WBA and IBF heavyweight titles from Alexander Usyk in a crucial fight tonight. Obo, who was also the WBA International Light Heavyweight Boxing Champion, says if Joshua discovers himself and be in good form, he might stop Usyk in the 7th or 8th round. While presidential reception for the victorious Team Nigeria athletes to the just concluded Commonwealth Games in Birmingham has been scheduled to hold on September 15 at the Aso Rock Villa, Abuja. Minister of Youth and Sport Development, Sunday Dari, who disclosed this in Abuja, stated that this will be in recognition of the historic performance of the team, which is the best ever since 1950, that is 72 years ago, when Nigeria first participated at the Games. In the meantime, the federal government has set up a 12-man committee to work towards the successful production and second launch of the Sport Book of Record, with a view to documenting athletes' achievement for posterity. Minister of Youth and Sport Development Sunday Dare, while inaugurating the committee in Abuja, called on them to work assiduously towards ensuring the production and launch of a one-stop shop document for the country's sportsmen and women, as well as their achievement both past and present. Manchester United have announced the capture of Casemiro from Real Madrid for a reported 60 million British pounds. The 30-year-old, who has made 336 appearances for Real Madrid, started Real Madrid's UEFA Super Cup win over Eintracht Frankfurt, while he featured as a substitute against Almeria last weekend. Chelsea reportedly want to sign Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang as a short-term option until Christopher Nkunku is available. Chelsea have reportedly met with Aubameyang's agent to negotiate a move. Sport Update returns on Monday. My name is Adeyemi Aboderi.
And to end the news across the country, here again are the main points. Osun State Police Command has said that it has apprehended 5 people in connection with the attack on the convoy of wife of Osun State Governor, Mrs. Kafayat Oyetola at Owodede. The Director General, National Agency for Food and Drug Administration and Control, NAFDAC, Professor Mojisola Adeyeye, says the agency has impounded truckloads of unregistered and deadly products, including intoxicants, alcoholic bitters, and sex enhancers. As King Wasiu Ayinde Marshal clocks 50 on stage, OSBC Entertainment News focused on the philosophical and educative aspect of the music of the icon Fuji musician. Contributors to the National Housing Fund NHF scheme in northwestern parts of the country have demanded that the federal government should ease the conditions for securing housing loans. And that was the news across the country, edited by Adeni Ikendi and delivered by Olushola Egbodofo. For more Ebaros, can visit www.osbcng.org. Thanks for listening. Good evening.
You alive.